my party. We're just getting started. A life is a dream or a nightmare.
Good morning, everybody. Hopefully you guys are having a great morning so far. It's Friday, not even hump day, just Friday. I'm finishing up my breakfast here. Well, I'm not going to finish it because obviously that'd be rude, but I'm going to, believe it or not, I'm actually eating this for breakfast this morning. I also got, I mean, as it goes, it's not the worst thing I've ever eaten, but it's definitely Mountain House. But I also got some Jimmy Dean breakfast sausages, just, basically brown and served type things. Put those in there. It's not bad. It doesn't need hot sauce. It's pretty good that way. It's pretty good. All right, let's see here. Looking over at the comments as things slowly build. Currently 17-5. YouTube is winning as usual. Military eggs were the worst. Dude, I actually didn't mind them at all. Just threw a little hot sauce on them. Something about the texture. Just enjoyed it. Did you ever eat the military or the military omelets, the hot omelets? Not MREs, but like from like the field kitchens. Something about those. They did something to me, you know. Rose, Rose, right off. So did you make it to the coffee shop the other morning? How was it? Actually, Rose, I did not. I finished what I needed to do. I got in my car. I drove away. I looked at my rearview mirror and I was like, damn. So I have to go out this morning and, yeah, exactly. Green eggs and ham. And, actually I have to go mow grandma's house or grandma's yard today. Hopefully it's the last time, this season, but, it's getting chilly out there. Yesterday was the day. Air conditioner is not on at all today. It didn't come on yesterday as well. Yesterday was the first day. I normally have the air conditioner set at 72, which is why I'm always wearing this. I just like it cold. It was the thermostat was at 70. It was reading the temperature at 70. So nothing came on yesterday, which is great for the electric bill. This morning I woke up, it was 69. So I think yesterday was officially my last flip-flop / shorts day. And yeah, I know you guys were talking about the temperatures where you are as well. But let's see. I want to do a special shout out to JB the 25th. I see JB is in the on the Rumble side. And the reason is because JB was first on YouTube like hours ago. And then something happened, possibly even last night. Something happened to the chat. I don't know what it was, but everything got deleted. And so he was actually the first. And then obviously this morning, Jordan, number 2, and Rose, you are deterred. West Virginia Pappy is in the house. We've got Alrighty Canada. There's JB. He seems to be omnipresent today. We got Cool Colts in the house. I haven't seen you in a while. You've been a busy man. We got Bradley. We got Preston. We got Light Raider. We got Pastor of Reality. Ian showed up. There we go. Catitude's in the house. There we go. At 0200. Okay, that's way too early. Nobody should be awake at 0200 ever. Any place, anytime. No, it's not healthy. All right, let's see here. I'm gonna put my spoon away. I'm driven to eat the rest of these eggs, but the water is so hot it's burning my face off. Okay, let's see. Looks like we got enough people to get a good start going on here. Also on the Rumble side, JB is first there as well. Laser, you are number 2, and West Virginia Pappy, omnipresent as usual. You are deterred. Oh, the Chinese Kung Fu movie thing. All right, let's see here. In the chat, the question, or in the YouTube chat, there is a poll question that says, what is the most important prepper focus during supply chain disruptions? Why are we talking about supply chain disruptions? Well, so we had a scare with the dock worker unions basically shutting us down. I would like to remind everybody that their agreement is only good until like the day before Christmas or something like that, the week before Christmas. And so there was when there is a hiccup, in the military, if you've been on a forced march in the military, you know what the accordion effect is. It sucks. The accordion effect is when when somebody in the front speeds up instead of maintaining pace, and everybody has to speed up to catch up. And then the people in the front don't really feel it, but the people, I don't know, 30, 40, hundreds behind feel it. And there's this massive accordion effect in the line of troops. It's bad. It's painful because everybody's always trying to catch up. If you apply that theory to our supply chain, whenever there's a hiccup, whenever a company, a billion-dollar company, has to pre-stage or change a route or slow its process of shipping products, goods, needs, there is an accordion effect, and we will be fighting to catch up. Voluntold March. It is what it is. Remember, you volunteered for it. USMC, you signed the mother contract. There we go. The agreement is until January 15th. Thank you, Bradley. I appreciate you, bro. But let's just say it's temporary. It's temporary. So we shall see what happens. Okay, so with that said, I think it's important that we talk about this and that we actually get into some depth. All right. Obviously, the important people are here, and those are the people that are paying attention to the world. Otherwise, the viewer count would be much higher. And it's Friday. Nobody wants to talk about bad stuff on Friday. Oh, well. So just a few years ago, society lived through a pandemic, and even that, an event that brought a wide range of shortages. What began as a toilet paper shortage in 2020 soon spread to include almost every item in the grocery store, along with critical products and those that are found in pharmacies. We should really be thinking about that, especially if we have drugs that we need to survive. I know there's a few of you out there. Rose says the wives wanted a good Christmas. West Virginia Pappy says West Coast workers said they would not upload eastbound products in support. Gotcha. So a long-term impact of the pandemic led to shortages of major goods like cars and computers lasting several years. Recently, car lots have refilled as the automotive supply chain caught up, especially with electronic parts, allowing manufacturers to resume building cars and trucks. While panic buying caused many early shortages like toilet paper, or real issues came from changing consumer habits during widespread shutdowns. With remote work, fewer people needed to replace their cars or buy new clothes for the office. Simultaneously, many had to upgrade home technology to work remotely and purchase large TVs to pass the time during the lockdowns. And, Viking Queen, good morning, young lady. Good morning. Good to see you here. It's just as life seemed to stabilize, a new threat to the supply chain emerged. The International Longshoremen's Association Union threatened and briefly carried out a strike to push higher wages and prevent port automation. 36 ports along the East Coast and Gulf of Mexico shut down temporarily as longshoremen walked off the job. Though the strike only lasted a few days, it had the potential to bring back the shortages seen during the pandemic. Economic experts were quick to predict disaster. It's not even had the union not reached a tentative agreement with the U.S. Marine Alliance, that's the U.S. Marine Alliance is a group of non-U.S. companies. Figure that one out. The strike could have continued for weeks or even months. The union's leadership publicly declared it was willing to make the country suffer if demands were not met. Now, before we go any further, if you're new to the channel, the way we do this is I say some stuff, you write some stuff, I talk about the stuff that you wrote. It's what quid pro quo. We're going to go ahead and carry on here, but I'm going to check the chat here real quick. Looks like lots of good mornings. Currently, 13 votes are in the are inside of the. I'm going to move that over so I can see it a little bit better. Let's move that over there. Are inside of the poll, and currently 62% believe that diversifying stockpiles is the number one thing to do. The question is, what is the most important prepper focus during supply chain disruptions? 23% believe cultivating self-reliance skills, 15% is monitoring global events, and 0% believe that watching inflation indicators is something you should be doing. Okay, so the real issue is not about labor disputes or what constitutes a fair wage. Instead, it's that the U.S. supply chain remains dangerously vulnerable. All it would have taken was 4 weeks of closed ports or entire industries to shut their doors. The first week, you guys are going to love this. The first week would see some inconvenience. By the second, general shortages of goods would begin, and prices would go up even more than they are now. By the third week, stores would be rationing items, and manufacturers would furlough workers as supply lines dried up. By the fourth week, shelves in stores would be nearly empty, and prices would be too high for many families. So basically, after 4 weeks, our current supply system would have essentially be shut down. Now, if you guys remember during the pandemic, we fought to make sure this didn't happen. And unfortunately, there were panic buyers. There were, for lack of better words, hoarders. It kind of messed with things. All right, let's go over to the chat. Where we at here? Jordan says, I diversify because I'm not for sure what will be in low supply. What will be the new TP that gets hoarded? Exactly. What will be the new TP? Guys, whatever you think the new TP will be, put it in the chat. I'm curious. All right, he says, you bought it. Okay. It was on a boat and a train before it was loaded into a tractor trailer. Yes, absolutely. The supply chain itself is extremely fragile, and no, I get what you're saying. You're saying, I think IYOU is actually supposed to be I capital U. If. Okay, there we go. You had me. I was like, man, I speak Canadian. I speak Canadian pretty well. So if you bought it, it was on a boat and a train before it was loaded into a tractor trailer. There we go. I got you. Very true. Very absolutely true. JB says that the next toilet paper is going to be coffee. And I think he could be right with the cost of coffee these days. It's pretty insane. I remember a bag of coffee was somewhere around $5.90, something in that range, right? You could do. I think it was the even the good stuff was the Dunkin' Donuts bag coffee, just regular. I think it was around $5.90 before we started playing the pandemic games, and now it's well over $10. Actually, I think you can get it for almost $14 in some places, which is a super deal. You guys really need to jump on that. By the way, if you didn't know this, you can actually Dunkin' Donuts coffee is so good. Not a joke. Okay. Dunkin' Donuts coffee is so good that you can buy half a bag of crab coffee and pour half a bag of Dunkin' Donuts coffee and in it, and it will still taste good. Let's see here. Bradley says, Rose, what do we got here? Where are we at? Rose says, understand the strike situation. My father was a Teamster, but my oldest brother was an independent driver, was fearful during the strikes. Yeah, I mean, that's north against south, brother against brother, basically, Rose. Let's see here. Bradley says wintertime, it would be cold and flu meds. If it's summertime, it would be meat. I got you. Okay, so now we're bringing atmospheric conditions. That's something to think about. That's something to think about, guys. Let's see here. Rose says medications. Yes, absolutely, absolutely. Viking Queen says, just last week in my area, it was toilet paper and paper towels. I will tell you that when I do go to Wally World, which is probably more than I need to, I just have this thing where I like to buy stuff. Um, but when I do go to Wally World, I normally try to go down the toilet paper in the back of the store. They've got it on the far wall, and it's just on like stock shelves. It's not on like regular grocery store shelves. And I like to see like what's there, how much is there, and who's buying what. And one of the key indicators that there could be something looming or people are afraid is when you see all of the cheap toilet paper gone. Cheap paper towels, not so much. People don't really care. That's not really an indicator. But when all the cheap toilet paper is gone, yeah, there's an issue. Something is looming in the back of people's brain housing groups that's making them go, "Wow, something's wrong." Let's see here. Let's see. Don't prep, don't know better. West Virginia Pappy says on the Rumble side, it will remain TP. People who don't prep don't know better. So what you're saying, what you're really saying, West Virginia Pappy, is that there is there are people, there are what do they call it? There is an evolution of preparedness. So some are smart enough. Some are just smart enough to realize. But the other the dum-dums buy lots of toilet paper. I got you. All right, let's see here. White Trash Willie, good to see you, bro. Good to see you. Let's see. K Kim, good to see you. New sub. Hi, y'all. Hey, K, good to see you. I'm glad you subbed. I appreciate it. Let's see here. I'm scrolling through the chat. Everybody gets a fair shake. Bradley says, I was at a store last night. Oh, just scrolled. It just moved. I was at a store last night. The can of coffee I got for $10 at Sam's Club was on sale at $14.99. Yeah, the price was a little weird. We actually bought some coffee. There was a deal. I got it for so like it's a mid-grade coffee, medium roast, a giant bag, a 30-ounce bag. If you guys didn't know this, you can buy coffee in the 30-ounce bags, which is hilarious because the containers are 32 ounces. And you can normally buy the bag for almost $10, maybe a 10, like 10.34, something like that. But the can of a different brand is like $14, and it's only 3 ounces difference. So just now you know that. Let's see here. What do we got? Brad says a bag of napkins is cheaper than paper towels and smoother on your body. Okay. So buy napkins. Kim says, I don't like to use too many meds. However, I did stock up on ibuprofen. I don't believe it's made in the US, ? I couldn't tell you. I honestly don't know. When the port strikes happened, the meds area was ransacked within 48 hours of that. I absolutely believe that, Kim. There are some places where people just go crazy. They just go crazy and buy everything they can get their hands on because they don't think they have or they don't think they will have enough. It's absolutely insane. Ian says, one of the first things I started prepping was TP. Don't worry during the first shortage. Didn't worry during the first shortage. There you go. What do we got? Rose says there are some issues with medications, seeing a brand change in what is dispensed. Yeah, we're going to start seeing different companies. I hopefully will start seeing more American companies, but we're starting to see different companies. And it's my thought that forever the pharmaceutical industry was after the companies that make pharmaceuticals in India. Oh no, you don't. There's no standards there, and you don't know what you're getting because you remember there for a while you could like order medications from overseas and just have them sent to your house for so much cheaper. And of course, I wouldn't know anything about that, but it's it's my belief that now that there's such a hatred for China's pharmaceutical industry because all these medicines that keep people alive aren't made here in America. That now some companies uh, are rebranding these Indian companies, and probably for next to almost nothing. They're probably a little bit more expensive than the Chinese stuff, but I think they're probably just passing that off to the consumer. Let's see here. KK, I'm just going to call you Kim. Unless it's like Kevin Kim or something like that. I don't know. Search for discount salvage grocery stores. It's been a huge win for us in the coffee area. Spent about less than $1 a pound. Nice. Debbie says, sprinkle a little bit of salt on cheap coffee, cuts the bitter taste. Absolutely true. I like, Creative says, I like that coffee chat. But you know what we're talking about, but it is what it is. It is what it is. All right, so let's go ahead and roll on to the next portion right here. What about cases of coffee or for offices, single pouch per pot, that kind of thing. I hate to say it, West Virginia Pappy, but I think those are actually more expensive. We tried to buy some of those for prep stock. And it was like $50 for a case of 50 of those pads. When we did the math in the amount of ounces that you need to make a pot of coffee, it was actually more expensive. So it's kind of weird. It's kind of weird. SNL coffee talk. My Sam's has been out of TP for about 3. Wow. Aurora Riggs. Wow. And let me put that up there. You're a member, so members get their names up there. Yeah, that's pretty crazy. A Sam's that's out of where do you live, Aurora? I mean, are you in Colorado, or is that your name, Aurora? Wow. That's crazy. A Sam's out of coffee. Wow. Clint, my lady friend and I both work in retail. She's a store manager at a rural store, and water and TP were the hardest hit during the shipping scare that blew out. I believe it, man. I believe it. Okay, so the pandemic's aftermath took years to recover from. And in some ways, recovery is still going on. If the recent strike had lasted longer, the effects would have been even worse, partly because of new panic buying and partly due to compounded damage from the previous crisis. While a tentative agreement ended the strike, the lack of a signed contract means the possibility of further disruption remains. And we really do need to let that sink in. You guys know that I don't do the fear porn, but we have to look at this as a data point, and then play if this happens, this will happen. If this happens, this is what I'll do. This is how I'm going to plan for that eventuality. Okay. So it's important to do that. And it's important to recognize that we haven't fully returned to pre-pandemic conditions, the new normal, high inflation fueled by massive government spending. It remains. Buying habits have also shifted, with many consumers now purchasing groceries online and paying with cards instead of cash. These trends, combined with an unstable supply chain, continue to impact everybody's daily life. It's just a thing. There's nothing we can do about it right now. Who is that? Who's trying to ping me? What are we doing here? Who's trying to ping me? Dog and ball. Real dogs don't use ride-in purses. I don't know what that means. Anywho, let's see here. Good morning, Chad. My screen name is daughter's name and what I make. I gotcha. Nice. Okay, let's see here. Bradley Collins. I like the Flash Flood app, not available. What is this? I like the Flash Flood app, not available everywhere, but I get a good amount of veggies or other things for very cheap. Oh, Flash Food app. I got you. Okay. That's pretty interesting. Let's see here. Kim is fine. Perfect, Kim. Thank you. Let's see here. Preston says, I'm the only person in my family prepping, and my family thinks I'm completely insane for preparing. Always angry with me when I bring preps home. Just being a prepared father and getting and gifted and getting ridiculed. Well, the thing about it is, Preston, I always tell people the simplest answer is you do you. And if people can accept you for who you are, then they truly have the issues, not you. All right, let's see here. Okay, so let's go ahead and transition. Let's go ahead and transition. Looks like we're about halfway through the channel. So if you love your country, put a number 1 in the chat. Erica. Anyway, breaking down storages further, or shortages. Let's break down the shortages further, because I told you we're going to get deep on this. We've currently got 24 votes on the question of the day. What is the most important prepper focus during supply chain disruptions? And currently diversifying stockpiles is at 40%. Winner, winner, chicken dinner. Oh yes, sipping that coffee. My breakfast still feels warm. It still feels warm. All right. So people often view shortages in extreme terms. For instance, the shortage of thumbs up that are on this video. If you haven't hit the thumbs up video, do me a favor, hit that. It's free and it actually does help. So assuming that a shortage means something will disappear entirely. That was the case during the pandemic, partially with grocery store items. However, not all shortages are that severe. Hurricane Helene, the deadliest hurricane since Katrina in 2005, has devastated the Deep South, impacting agricultural and creating shortages in cotton, pecans, and peaches. Somebody was in the chat, I think 2 days ago, who actually said this. So it's not just me making this crap up. The damage to cotton is a short-term problem affecting next year's production of t-shirts, towels, clothing, etc. Prices for these will rise, so you can expect $35 t-shirts, though they should stabilize once a new crop is harvested. Now, pecan and peach orchards will take years to recover, as those trees require time to mature and produce fruit. This long-term damage will drive prices up and affect availability. So, and what really sucks is, you could probably freeze dry peaches and pecans, but if you like to eat pecans, that pecan pie might get pretty expensive. Although shortages won't eliminate these items entirely, their prices will rise. Now, wealthier individuals will still have access to them, while the middle class and poor will be more affected. Those with less disposable income will adjust their buying habits, choosing more affordable alternatives. So they're going to be eating cherry pie and apple pie. All right, let's see here. Let's go ahead. I'm going to go in America Us. Let's see. Uno. Due to Helena donation, things like propane and some cleaning supplies are in short supply. Yes, people are buying this stuff up. Companies are shipping it for free. I mean, there's all sorts of stuff that are happening, we all get family anger. It will pass. There you go. There you go. Okay, let's see here. Pecan pie freeze as well. Whoa, there you go, Jordan. And that's absolutely true. However, pumpkin pie does not. Personal experience, it does not freeze very well. Let's see. Can you freeze dry pecan during a nut being a nut containing oil? I honestly, West Virginia Pappy, I don't know. Normally, the whole dehydrating process, there's always going to be remnant oils left. But as far as freeze drying nuts, that's a question. And then here's the real question. So like freeze dried nuts that come in a can pre-freeze dried. If you guys know if you can freeze dry nuts and make them last You know what? I'm going to put this on my list. I'm going to buy some freeze-dried. I'm going to look at some freeze-dried nuts today at the old Wally World, and I'm going to find out like what their expiration dates are. Let me put that on my shopping list. Freeze-dried nuts, and I'm pretty sure it's only going to be just regular peanuts, but it'll be interesting to see what I see. Where are we at here? Bradley says there are a couple trees I plan on planting this spring. Gotcha. Grumpy Acres showed up. Good to see you, bro. You can and Grumpy Acres should have the answer for us because he does this all the time. Let's see. You can freeze dry them. They just won't last as long. Commercial producers have a much longer shelf life. So if you freeze dried yours, Grumpy, how long do you think? What would be it like the expiration date you would put on them? Now, obviously, we open them up, we smell if they're rancid, wait for the bad taste, that kind of thing. But in reality, based on your professional opinion, because if you guys didn't know this, Grumpy Acres Farms actually does freeze dry food. In fact, since he's here and he did support us during Prep Stock. Where are we at here? Where's my template for Grumpy Acres? Pa-cha-cha. There he is, Grumpy, and I need to get rid of that comments post as well. Pa-cha-cha. There we go, grumpyacresfarms.com. Go there, get your freeze-dried foods. Oh, I just thought of something. Since Prep Stock has been canceled, I can eat the freeze-dried Skittles. But seriously, we're gonna give that. I have something else in the works for all of the stuff people have donated, and you will know soon enough. All right, we're gonna turn that off there. We're gonna go back to the comments. I'm a one-man band pushing lots of buttons over here. But anyway, so Grumpy's like scratching his head right now. I have a freeze dryer. I'll have to try nuts next run. Gotcha, Aurora. Gotcha. Let's see. Oh, there we go. Okay. So he says he's never done it personally. I would say with proper packaging, you could get 6 to 8 years easily. Doesn't seem worth the effort to me. I know, but when you start talking about food diversity, these are like, if you wanted a pecan pie, after the apocalypse, or maybe you just wanted to have some snacks with your rehydrated beer. Maybe, maybe. I mean, there's no truth. I mean, I don't know. Once it loses its oil, I mean, I don't know what the true sustenance level would be for freeze dried nuts, but it is what it is. And we thank you for giving us your professional opinion, which I trust. So, let's see. And oh, by the way, yeah, I'll be looking for you, man. I'll be looking for you. Coming, you and seeing the wife. And what is that, next week? Like next weekend, not this weekend, but next weekend. Yeah, I'll be around. I'll be at the gathering on Friday, bro. Okay, let's see here. Let's see here. We should do. I hear Dave Canterbury might be there. We should just pick him up and carry him out of there, cuz. Let's see here. Bradley says freeze-dried nuts have 25-year shelf life according to Google machine. Well, it must be true then. And let's see. Dry roasted nuts from planters, are they freeze dried? If they say they are freeze dried, it'll actually say it right on the package. Let's see here. You dog, taste the rainbow. I'll save them for Monday's live stream and eat them right here online. Miko says, what is dried food? Okay, wait a minute. What is dried food is real good for long terms? Okay, for long term survivor preps, try one, make sure you like it, stack it to the rafters. Man, Otto, I can't. So Miko, you're clearly using voice to text, and auto spell is not your friend today. So I'm going to read this because it's funny. What is? I got to put it on the screen. I got to put this on the screen. I'm not making funny, man. It's just funny. What is dried food is real good for long terms. It's like a hillbilly thing. For long terms, survivor preps, try one, Make sure you like it. Stack it to the Raptors. I'm going to stop there. But yes. Plant trees and hook up with someone who has that. Who has them. There we go. Should you put them in the next giveaway? Oh, that's I don't know, man. I'm a little selfish when it comes to those things. I did open them and taste a few and then resealed the bag. And they were just, oh my God, so delicious. Grumpy, you need to make some more Skittles, bro. You need to make some more Skittles. I'm selling it for you. Let's see here. Local Grumpy, what's your choice of poison? Actually, oh man, I'll have to email that to you. It's actually apple brandy. It is, and it's cheap too. It's only like $11 a bottle. But it is like, most people who like alcohol, like straight alcohol, may not like it because it's a sipping alcohol, and it's apple brandy, and it is so sweet. It's like you're not even drinking alcohol. You just get a hint of alcohol taste. But I can send you. I've got a picture of it someplace, but I don't remember the name of it. Actually, the bar down the road where I spend a couple days a week. I mean, no, I don't drink a lot. By the way, I'm not an alcoholic. They know me. As soon as I walk through the door, they give me 3 fingers of this stuff and a little bit of ice, and I just sit there and sip on it for like a couple hours talking to people. But it is really good. I will get you that. I know what you're up to, Grumpy. I will get you that information. Let's see here. You guys are killing it on the chat, man. Almost too much. Let's see here. Apple brandy, good. What kind of I don't know how to say that word. Bogey, bouge. But kind of bougie? No, it's delicious, man. Just 3 fingers, a little bit of ice. It's a gentleman's drink. Have you tried cream bourbon made in Kentucky? No, I have not. I've got a bottle of like $100 bottle of whiskey up in the cabinet that started this whole process. But anyway, we need to get back on point. I love talking about this stuff, but we need to get back on point. So let's talk about the implications for preppers of this issue that may or may not happen. I'd like coffee. Preppers often think in terms of extremes, like Titawaki. By the way, that's the end of the world as we know it. If you didn't know that, it's quite the acronym. Titawaki scenarios, assuming shortages will result in complete disappearance of essential items. While that is a useful mindset for planning, it rarely reflects reality. Some goods will still be available during a crisis, but their utility and affordability may be limited. The purpose of stockpiling is to ensure access to essential supplies when availability becomes uncertain. Preppers cannot predict what will be in short supply, so they prepare for as many eventualities as possible. While some non-essential items might run low, few people will suffer from a lack of cosmetics or new toys. Supply chain issues may not signal the end of the world, but they can still create serious challenges. Shortages of critical items like masks, oh no, bleach, oh no, and hand sanitizers during the pandemic or plandemic may have worsened the spread of disease. Food shortages also left grocery stores with empty shelves, further complicating daily life. With that said, the question in the poll is, what is the most important prepper focus during supply chain disruptions? 47% believe, with my eyes open now, diversifying stockpiles. 40% believe cultivating self-reliance skills. 10% believe monitoring global events. And 3% believe watching inflation indicators. Interesting stuff. Are you guys still talking about peanuts? West Virginia Pappy, I absolutely love apple pie moonshine, as long as a moonshiner made it. the stuff that they sell in the stores is not that good. You know what they say? Once you've tasted the gold, everything is silver. Let's see here. Buffer zone. Let's see here. Miko says, I can't help it. I spend most of my time down south, peacefully quiet down there. As it should be. There is something to be said for living in the South. There truly is. And generally, unless you're up in the cities and people are stupid, it's generally quiet. It's generally slower. The town that I live in here on the Eastern Shore of Virginia is very, very different because, up here, I kind of consider these people Yankees. But they are very slow, and it drives me nuts because I'm a very assertive person. And while it looks like I'm in a temporary state of road rage while driving down here or up here, I am truly in control. Let's see here. General rule: never buy moonshine with a barcode. Oh, I'm putting that on the screen. There we go. That is the best. Yes, I know. I know several people that make moonshine, and it is delicious. And if it's pure, like corn liquor, you don't even barely taste it. It's almost like drinking water. It's so weird, but when you stand up, it'll let you know it's very real. Okay. All right. So let's go ahead and talk about anticipating future supply chain disruptions. So the key challenges for preppers is predicting future shortages based on supply chain vulnerabilities. Fresh fruits and vegetables, for example, were expected to run short during recent crises. Crisis. What's the plural for crises? Crisis. Even though most domestic produce is grown in the United States, believe it or not, people who can identify potential shortages before the general public will have the opportunity to top off their stockpiles. In the case of the recent strike, this would have meant purchasing holiday items early or securing perishable foods before they became scarce. That is something we talked about, like, hey guys, maybe it's time to buy those Christmas presents. Maybe it's time to make Amazon work twice as hard this week so that when they don't work, that you'll be okay. You'll be ready. Looking ahead, it's crucial to monitor supply chain conditions, natural disasters, labor disputes, and even global events. These disruptions, like strikes or hurricanes, can easily create shortages. The goal is to recognize these threats quickly and take action to mitigate their impact on daily life. Now, preppers often jump from one crisis to another. It's unfortunate, but true. Preparing for multiple scenarios. Preparing for numerous hurricanes, for instance, means being better equipped with one, when one actually hits. Similarly, preppers who stocked up during the 2014 Ebola outbreak were more prepared when that thing we can't talk about came along. Now, let's go ahead and get into the recommendations. Let's see here. The plural for the word crisis is crises. Crises. Jesus Christ. Okay, so some recommendations. I'm going to sip a little coffee here. We're going to talk about some things that we might want to think about. So first things first, and when I say diversity, DEI is not in the game. So diversity of stockpiles. Now, rather than focus on a single category of goods, build a diverse inventory of food, medical supplies, and daily essentials. This strategy ensures you are prepared for a variety of shortages. I feel one of those things coming on right now. Whether in agriculture, pharmaceuticals, or manufactured goods. So diversification of your stockpile is important. Long-term, medium-term, short-term. Yes, you don't want to be stockpiling just this stuff because you'll go crazy. You'll go crazy. All right. Another thing we can do is cultivate self-reliance. And those are some big words, but what's it really mean? It means to invest in skills like gardening, canning, basic repairs, As global supply chains remain unpredictable, having the ability to grow or fix things at home reduces reliance on external systems. Even urban dwellers can benefit from container gardening or learning how to make basic repairs. Now, with that said, let's talk about staying informed. Let's talk about staying informed. Make it a habit to monitor labor disputes, weather patterns, global trade news. Knowing about a strike or agricultural disaster earlier allows you to act swiftly, avoiding panic buying and the worst of the shortages. So basically, you would be able to get your stuff before other people got their stuff, but you should already have your stuff so you don't have to fight to get more stuff. That's the general idea behind preparedness, guys. We get to sit on our porch with our rocket launchers and watch the world burn and go, I don't need to go to Wally World. Sip that bourbon. All right. So also you want to use economic indicators, and that sounds hard, but it's really not. What you want to do is watch for signs of inflation or rising prices in essential commodities. We do this every day, guys. We drive past 27 gas stations. We know the second gas goes up, and we watch it and we worry and we think about it. Do I have enough gas? Is my car full enough? Is the price going to go higher? Why did that happen? So use economic indicators. Preppers should also look out for industries with heavy with heavy import that have a heavy import reliance. As these are the most vulnerable for disruptions. Also, we should practice efficient rotations, and a lot of people don't do this. Basically, old stuff to the front, new stuff to the back. As supply chain disruptions are more likely than total collapse, it's essential to practice rotating stored foods and supplies, ensuring nothing goes to waste and that your stockpile stays fresh. All right, so we're going to go to the we'll roll to the polls. No, let's not do the polls yet. We got 52 people. There's 41 people. If you have not voted in the poll yet, please do so now. I'm going to go to the chat here real quick. I saw some stuff coming in as I was going through my verbiage, my words of stuff. Let's see here. Cuck V says beef is going to skyrocket. I've seen 400-pound feeder steers sell for $1,500. Is that expensive? I mean, how much is a feeder steer normally worth? Seriously, we want to know, Cuck. Put it in the chat. Miko says, if you're prepping for a zombie attack, you pretty much well cover for most everything in natural disaster. Yeah, it's very true. If you prepare for, if you build a checklist and prepare for the zombie apocalypse, you will literally be prepared for pretty much any freaking thing that ever happens to us. Let's see here. Oops says, new journal release on ivermectin and others on the Big C and Turbo C for Vax, Gateway Pundit, and Natural News. I got you. Gateway Pundit, I do pay attention to. I do not pay attention to Natural News because the guy is a bit of a kook. Gardening is so worth it. Yes, Creative Adana, exactly. And if you guys have the opportunity to garden indoors because winter is coming, then I would definitely jump on top of that. You could do vertical gardening. You can do tote gardening. I've seen a lot of people do a lot of crazy stuff inside. What is it? The one with the water, the one, who I'm talking to. Put that in the chat, the name of that gardening. But it works. Let's see. Miko says hand sanitizers, 91% alcohol, works great in alcohol stores when the power goes out, or just saying, I got you. Pastor of Reality, pressure canning. Get rid of your freezer. The majority of frozen products can be pressure canned. 100%. 100%. The only drawback, and I'm not saying don't do it, because I really need to start doing more canning. If you guys were here a year ago, you would have seen all the stuff that I was canning. And I have really been slacking off. I need to do more canning. Absolutely true, Pastor. Miko says 91% works great in alcohol stoves, especially when the electricity power goes out. Cancer increased with the invention of canning. I don't get that one. I'm not connecting the data points on that one. Oops. Jim Colley. Let's see here. What is and welcome to the channel. I don't recognize you, bro. What is the DoD preparing for with its directive in the use of lethal? Okay. So I will address that because you put it in the chat twice, and I'm pretty sure you didn't mean to, or it's like a phone glitch thing. I've seen that before, so it's not a big deal. So what Jim is referring to is the DoD directive for intelligence and counterintelligence gathering that they added this paragraph in there that basically says that that U.S. troops are authorized to use deadly force on U.S. citizens. What no one else is saying, and Jim, this is what I'm talking about. People they go down the rabbit hole, right? But they don't like go to the neck. They don't go to secondary and third order effects. They don't actually like dig deeper. It's like they pull this one, and this, unfortunately, Jim, this is not you. This is another channel that you're watching that is saying, oh, I just got this, and it's like, whatever, dude. I personally know that this directive was sent out to several YouTubers in a panic. And those YouTubers either jumped on it. No, I'm sorry. The YouTubers who jumped on it were the ones that were just regurgitating another YouTuber's video. And he had actually been sent it last month and had sat on it until last week. And what it basically is that if you actually read the directive, okay, I'm not saying you didn't. I'm saying that if you actually read the directive, a lot of directives or DoD directives come down to what they call a DDoD memorandum, okay? And that DDoD memorandum is something that references the things that are actually detailed. Now, I'm starting to sound a little crazy, and that's okay, but here it is. If you read something and it says, forces can kill Americans now. That's what our brains are interpreting, as long as they follow DD directive, blah, 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 blah. And then you don't go actually read that or understand what that document is, then shame on you. Shame on you. Okay. So in that DDoD memorandum, that defines the use of force. Okay. And it talks about training, the weaponry requirements. It's basically it's a standards document for a particular venue, or not venue, but for a particular task. All right. So within that memorandum, it talks directly about the inherent right of self-defense. Now, as a former member of the DoD, okay, 33 years, you guys know I don't talk about it very often, but I do have a little bit of insight here. And what this comes down to is that they finally put on paper that someone who is part of the DoD operating on a specific mission with specific task requirements, okay, that is issued a specific rule of engagement, has the authority to use deadly force against U.S. citizens. Okay, but to generalize it, to make it simple, okay, every single human being on the planet has the inherent right of self-defense. Okay, if someone breaks into your house, you blow their brains out. I thought he was going to kill me. Self-defense. Nothing happens. What has never been written into the documents before was that particular thing. Okay. They've always had in the rules of engagement for every single thing in the military, any person who carries a firearm, and if you've served with a unit where you actually use them every day, if you were a duty stander, an armed duty stander, if you were an armed classified document carrier, you have certain rules that you have to follow. Okay. And what that comes down to is that all the big document did that everybody's reading say that you have the inherent right to self-defense. That's all they did. They just, in the other documents, they never said it before. But if you go to the actual DOD memorandum, the first rule is you have the inherent right of self-defense. It's that easy. So if we could all just step back and take a breath and realize that your military does not want to kill you. There's nobody like, see, we can finally do it. Okay. That is not what happened. That is not what happened. Okay. So enough of that. And let's see what else I can find in the chat here. And oh, by the way, Jim, great comment, bro. Great comment. Appreciate you. Let's see here. Rose, if it's shtf and you're prepared, still go to the store so others not aware that you are prepared. That's a good psychological move, but I wouldn't do it. I only do it a couple of times. Hydroponics. There you go. There we go. Hydroponics. We're talking about growing stuff in your house. JB the 25th, hitting the road. We'll talk to you later, bro. Have a good day. Where are we at here? Aquaponics, if you like fish. I like that idea. Let's see. Jim is talking about the revised order broadens the scope of the situation. I got you. Although assassination is prohibited, we're going too far. Let's see here. Let's just scroll down to the bottom here. Let's see here. Jordan O'Neill, where are we at? Correct. Oops. FEMA has confiscation rights under natural disasters. Yes, to an extent, but I think that here's the thing about FEMA. FEMA is unarmed. The citizenry is armed. If they try to take your stuff, I mean, they've got to be like, hey, we're taking your stuff. And you got to be like, no, you're not. Any questions? Okay, I'm going. See you later. FEMA is not law enforcement. They don't have the authority to detain. All right, let's see here. We'll see. I guess you got me, Jim. But thanks for posting. I do appreciate you, bro. Alex Jones, police state 1-5. Gotcha. Okay. All right, let's see here. So we are rolling up on our hour. Once again, if you have not put a thumbs up, because that's free, I appreciate you. If you have not put your opinion in the chat, I'm sorry, not in the chat, but in the poll, now is the time to do that. We're getting ready to close this show down for the weekend. Let's see here. You downplayed this. Jim, I appreciate you, okay? But you don't have permission to monopolize the chat. Love you, bro. Take a step back. Take a step back. Take a step back. By the way, I also covered this last week. And I actually spoke about it several times in several videos on the member side. And if you're not a member, you wouldn't know. So please, I want you to have a great day. I truly do. All right, guys, that's going to be about it. As usual, if you like what I'm doing, make sure that you hit that subscribe button. If you want to be a member and support the channel, there is a link in the description. And yeah, you can join up and get all of the cool stuff behind the scenes, all that type of trash, and extra live streams like we did yesterday. Not once, but twice. All right, guys, that's going to be about it for the weekend. Stay safe. Have a great weekend, and I shall see you when I see you. Bye-bye.